For over 45 years, the U.S. Department of Education has been the backbone of federal school funding, student loans, and civil rights enforcement. But today, in 2026, its very existence is under threat. The Trump administration has made abolishing the Department of Education a top priority. Is this a move towards state freedom or a recipe for national educational chaos? Today, we explore what happens to billions of dollars in student aid and research when the federal bank for education disappears. The administration's plan is to dismantle the federal bureaucracy and return control to individual states. Instead of federal mandates, the government proposes block grants. This means a single lump sum of money is sent to each state, allowing governors and state legislatures to decide how to spend it. Supporters argue that Florida knows what its students need, better than a bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. However, this raises a critical question. What happens to national standards? Without a federal department, the rules for who gets an education and what is taught could vary wildly from California to Texas. The biggest concern is the $1.6 trillion in federal student loans. Currently, the Department of Education manages this massive portfolio. If the department is abolished, who collects the debt? Who sets the interest rates? The plan suggests moving these functions to the Department of Treasury or private banks. This could mean the end of income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness. Furthermore, federal research grants for universities, which are often tied to Department of Education regulations, face an uncertain future. Without a centralized agency to ensure compliance, the flow of scientific and academic funding could be paralyzed by legal and administrative hurdles. Perhaps the most sensitive issue is the enforcement of Title IX and other civil rights laws. The Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights is responsible for protecting students from discrimination based on race, gender, and disability. If this power is handed to the states, critics fear a postcode lottery of protection. A student with disabilities in one state might receive full support, while a similar student in another state might be left behind. This could lead to a massive increase in litigation, as students and parents sue individual states to protect their constitutional rights. I see the Department of Education not just as an office, but as a guarantor of educational equity. Abolishing it would be an experiment with the lives of 50 million students. For English learners, the vocabulary of this debate is essential. Words like decentralization, mandate, and accountability are the keys to understanding 21st century governance. We are entering an era where your rights as a student may depend more on your state line than your national identity. Mastering these terms helps you understand the changing shape of democracy itself.